Benny brought this story up. I did see it last night. It reminded me, and of course, the story as it goes is Mookie Betts. So the Dodgers are in Milwaukee to take on the Brewers, and Mookie is not staying at the team hotel. Now, I think, you read that and go, oh, man, this could be bad for the Dodgers, guys that going out on their own. No, Mookie's not staying at the Pfister Hotel.
Pfister, the Pfister.
Pfister, hardly. Because, well, he's afraid to stay at the Pfister Hotel. He rented an Airbnb instead in Milwaukee and said, no, I'm not staying at the Pfister. I'm going to stay at an Airbnb. And the reason is because the Pfister Hotel is allegedly very haunted in Milwaukee.
Like our Hotel Del Coronado here in San Diego.
Got a lot of stories
lore for a very long time. The hotel was built, the Pfister, in 1893. It is usually the team hotel. I think the Padres stay there as well.
I read yesterday that it's they have a contract with Major League Baseball, so every team that comes in stays at the Pfister. And I would like to.
Any musicians that play in the area, that's where they stay. I also saw that it is graded by the Secret Service. It is presidential worthy.
Okay,
the president's ever in town.
So a really nice old hotel, but it's got a little bit of baggage.
There's some
attached.
stories, and Paulie's actually found a clip that explains a little bit about the lore of the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee.
There is a rich history of the Pfister being haunted. Numerous Major League Baseball players, when they've stayed here, have complained about uneasiness and lack of sleep, and it's believed that it's the spirit of Charles Pfister. Now, I found a couple of first-hand experiences, and one came from Rangers infielder Michael Young, who heard footsteps in his room walking around his bed when there was nobody else in the room.
Oh my God.
Another is Bryce Harper, who laid out his clothes before he went to bed, and then he woke up in the morning, and his clothes were all scattered all over the room, somewhere on a table, and the door was still bolted and locked, so he knew nobody else had been in the room. And one other is Carlos Gomez, who, at one point was a Milwaukee Brewer, but has played for several teams, stayed here many times, and he heard voices in the room when there was nobody else in there. And his iPod turned on when he was in the shower, and it was just playing static.
Oh Are you effing kidding me?
Forget it, dude. Forget it. So you guys remember back in, if you're...
I got chills just hearing those stories.
If you're one of the Ben and Woods show, we used to do a bit called Woodsy's Wednesday Wabbit Hole, just to fill some time. But I actually had more time on my hands then. And I would go on the internet late at night and just do these deep dives. And I did the one on the Hotel Cecil. Which is now closed
in Los Angeles.
Yeah. And it's the most terrifying story. There is a documentary on Netflix I highly recommend, like The Curse of the Hotel Cecil or something like that. But that woman was found in a water tank. People were turning on their water, and there's a dead body filtering through. It's beyond gnarly. They had video of her in the elevator. No one ever really figured out what happened to her.
You had guests that are like, I was brushing my teeth and the water tasted weird.
Yeah, it was a dead body. Water was filtering through a dead corpse. And so I am team Mookie Betts on this one. I absolutely agree with Mookie Betts 1,000%.
So you guys believe in the paranormal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You both do?
Unquestionably. Yeah.
See, I think there's a logical explanation for every one of those stories you just heard.
Let's hear him.
All right. Bryce Harper lays out his clothes before he goes to bed, wakes up. They're scattered about the room.
A bird.
Sleepwalking. He took an Ambien and got up in the night and thought he needed to get dressed and went back to bed. Didn't remember when he got up.
That can be easily debunked by asking, hey, Bryce,
did you take an Ambien?
Do you take Ambien before bed?
Or
no.
Do you
have a history of sleepwalking? No.
You don't always know it. It could have easily happened. It's much more logical. There's always a more logical, earthly explanation. Footsteps and the sound. It's an old hotel. There's like pipes. There's different air vents. You can hear things quite easily that sound will reflect, and you hear something creepy that's there. I prefer
the iPod with playing static.
Electronics are always doing weird
No, they're
things.
not.
Yeah, they do weird things all the time. I think there's a logical explanation for all of it. And there's plenty of things to be scared of. I think when we all look out, like go into a dark room or whatever, you get that trepidation. I get it. Everyone kind of does a little bit. I mean, there's an earthly, if someone really wanted to like give you a scare of a lifetime, they could find a way to float up into your window. They could find a way to hide in your garage when you're going up into, going to get a glass of water at night, and they're right there in your kitchen to scare you. Would be absolutely terrifying. It doesn't need to be a ghost to do that. There's people out there that can do those sort of things. So I'm not a ghost or paranormal guy.
Would you stay?
Pfister? Yeah, absolutely.
Would you stay at room 3327 at the Hotel Del?
Would I stay in that room?
In that room?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All by yourself for a night?
Yeah. Well, it's a nice hotel. I mean,
very nice.
I like nice hotels.
Okay. That's the haunted room, I believe, at Hotel Del. You would stay there overnight, just you and you alone. No phone, no nothing. Just you staying in the Hotel Del in room 33.
Just relaxing and getting away in a luxury hotel on the beach in Coronado.
You would do that?
Getting a free night there just to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay. I would not. I would not stay in room 3327, the Hotel Del. So you really don't believe that spirits come and go and things like that?
I do not.
Okay. You're a very logical person.
I don't know what happens, after we die. I mean, there may be spirits that go on, but I don't think that the stories of people being like visited, I think there's a much more logical explanation for those.
I don't feel like I know I'm never scared like in my own home, or if I go, when Paulie and I go to fantasy camp and I'm in my room at the Hampton Inn.
There was that one room in the Airbnb that we stayed at.
Yes, you stayed in it.
Ben's room
with that
2
old
years ago.
lady. Now you said you were a little creeped out.
Photos were creepy. There's no doubt about that. Creepiness is real. Things are creepy, that's for sure.
I think
Very
the
earthly
creepiest thing in
creepy.
that room was the sign above your bed that read, "We don't call 911
We
here."
don't call 911 here.
Anyways, I digress.
No, the creepiest thing is the picture of the old woman and the kids staring a hole at Ben as he laid down in his bed.
No, I mean, when I was a kid, I was definitely scared. I think I saw a movie and like our teacher showed it was called The Watcher in the Woods or something. And there's like mirror, there was a girl trapped on the other side of the mirror. And for years, like mirrors would creep me out.
I got freaked out as a kid. We had a downstairs, mostly it was like there was an office and like a rec room, a den with the big screen and the couch and all that. That's where I would hang out most of the time. But all the bedrooms, kitchen, everything was up the stairs. So at the end of the night, I would turn off all of the lights and have to go up the stairs. And I always got freaked. I had to sprint up the stairs. I was always terrified something was going to come up behind me and like grab my feet or something. But I have had a ghost experience, a paranormal experience, but it was never in my home.
Excuse me?
Haven't I told you this?
No.
When in college, I worked at Woodstock's Pizza by San Diego State. And
the famously haunted pizza joint.
Yeah, yes. People had told me like, "Oh yeah, this building is haunted." I was like, "Okay, ha ha ha." And then I'd been working there for several months, and one night we were closing shop, and place was closed. We had a giant walk-in fridge, right? Big ass heavy door, and it was a small walkway. So the door's on your right if you're walking through the hallway. Door's on your right to the fridge. On the left was a cork board with notes or whatever,
right,
and thumbtacks. And one day we were leaving. We had set the alarm, we turned off the lights, and we were walking past the fridge through the hallway to go out the back door. And it was me and one other guy. I swear to God, I'd call him right now. He would tell this exact same story word for word. We're walking. There's about I'm walking ahead of him. There's about 5 feet in between us, right? As I walk past the corkboard on my left and the fridge on my right, every single thumbtack on the corkboard shot off of the corkboard towards hit the wall or the door of the fridge.
There you go.
And they fell to the floor. And then my buddy Brian was behind me. This happened in front of him and behind me. And I turned around and he was
white.
pale white.
White
Like,
as a-
what the F
White
just
as a
happened?
ghost.
Dude, we ran out of there. We shut the door and got in our cars.
There's no explanation for that.
2 years later, I go, hey, Brian, do you remember? He goes, I think about it all
There's
the
no
time.
explanation for thumbtacks going against the way that you're like shooting out.
Some sort of magnetic
You're
field.
an idiot.
You're all right.
Maybe pipes behind the board, like
burst at
Dude,
the
like
time.
there was a strong surge that
Yeah,
caused the wall
maybe
to
that's
push
what
out
happened.
and caused the thumbtacks to fly off the board.
You know, I don't ever wish ill on you, but I hope that you get haunted, and then I hope that some old lady comes in and runs her bony finger down your face tonight.
Why would they even
while
want?
you're asleep?
Why would the ghost even want to do that? Is that fun for the ghosts? Is that like?
Because you don't believe.
Is that fun?
They
Do they
come-
like get their
They
jollies?
tickle your
Like,
gullet like this with their bony finger.
she lived 100 years on Earth, and then all she's got to do now is run her bony ghost fingers over my
over
face.
your gullet.
That seems like a stretch to me. Woods.
Look at this little gobbler just running her bony, disgusting.
What does she get
finger.
out of that?
Hello, Ben. Wake up, Ben.
You go and have a good laugh about it with the other ghosts later.
Of course.
That's what I just did to this guy in the hotel room. I ran my
I
finger
fingered
over
his
face.
gullet. Oh, dude, you're out of your
You should have
mind.
seen it. He was terrified. It was so funny.
I hope.
Is that what the ghosts are all doing?
I
Just
hope
like
you get haunted.
telling funny stories about how they
Oh.
haunted all of us living people.
All right, here's another one. There's that hotel that they filmed The Shining in. Shining is, for me, the top tier.
You don't
most
think it
freaked out.
behooves like the movie makers to sort of embellish
Of course.
stories like
course.
this to add to the mystique of whatever they're doing?
Of course. That being said, I would never stay in that room at the Overlook Hotel. Whatever it's called now, like whatever the hotel is actually called. That room where the old lady was in the bathtub, never. You couldn't, I wouldn't do it for 50 grand. I would not spend the night in there. I couldn't, there's no way. I'd be a wreck. I could feel like my body tensing up, even thinking about like trying to lie in bed in that room in that haunted ass hotel.
How did all the blood get in the elevator? I don't even understand.
It's a great question
No.
from the kids that were murdered with an axe.
Roman,
I mean,
Roman
that's
asks,
way
why is
more
Ben
blood.
shilling against the paranormal?
Yeah, why are you
Are
shilling
you
against-
are you a part of big anti-paranormal?
You're
I
big.
am.
You're part
Yes.
of big anti-paranormal. All right. Well, he's very logical.
Well, we know who's getting spooked next time we all take a trip.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be Ben.
That being said, I think
Oh,
that
I'm not above being scared. Certainly, I can be terrified. I'm just terrified of the real. I think that's a lot more scary than the paranormal.
Kathy says my friend in Kansas City had just set her wedding bouquet down on the counter. She turned around and it hit her in the middle of the back. She asked her husband why he threw it at her. He was nowhere near it.
I see that happens all the time.
Yeah. There was probably a string that had caught from her wedding dress. And as she walked, it rifled off the counter at a massive velocity, hit her square in the back. That's probably what it was. You just keep thinking that you know more than the resident ghost expert. Now, Mookie Betts, I mean, he's going to have peace of mind now, which makes you, I think he hit a leadoff home run last night, too.
He did,
Yeah, he
yeah.
hit a leadoff home run. So
Yeah.
Now he has to stay in an Airbnb
whenever he goes.
Nice
Oh,
peaceful night's sleep will do that to you.
Yeah, 100%.
Ghost free.
Not worried about your gullet being fingered by an old lady. So there you go.